Purbasha, and this is my latest cake, the 13th cake, and this is a small cake for a small family gathering at my friend's place for Thanksgiving. And throughout the week I was wondering, should I bake a cake or should I bake a pie? But then cake wins, so eventually I ended up baking a cake that looks like a pie. Originally, I won't say the design is my original because I saw a similar cake in Flickrs done by Andrea, and it was really beautiful, and I thought maybe I should give it a try. And so I went about making this cake, and moreover, as I was mentioning in my last video, I was struggling a lot with this ribbon, with the ribbon cutter. First, how to cut the ribbons, and then how to apply them on the cake. So I thought this would be a great challenge and a practice for me to bake or design something like this that would require for me to do only ribbons, so that way I'll get a little practice and a little more confident about them. And I'm glad I took that step because I was pretty much successful in cutting the ribbons and placing them pretty well. Shout out to all my YouTube friends for thank you very much for all your tips and tricks to work with this ribbon cutter and how to apply it. I used your methods and it worked really well for me. It was much more easier and smoother, and I didn't have to get frustrated while doing it. There's nothing much to talk about this cake. It's a really small cake. I think it's an 8-inch cake, and just 2-inch or 2.5-inch. It's a yellow cake with mandarin orange in it, so it has a little fruity tarty flavor inside it, so it kind of works as a pie. And then outside it's all vanilla fondant. Initially what I did was I colored the fondant into cream color and applied it, and I'll put the pictures at the end of the video. And it looked kind of a little plastic, and I was really couldn't decide, should I keep it like that or should I try to paint on it to give it a little more crustier look, a little more natural look, like the pie just out of the oven. But then finally I couldn't resist the urge to paint on it, so I went about and started painting on the cake to give it the crusty baked look. Initially that was a little struggle for me because I was trying to get the right color. I was trying to use various combinations of yellow, orange, brown, black to get the correct shade, but then it wasn't coming the right shade. I'll show you where I started. I started at the end, at the back, and it's so horrible. And I think there was too much of vodka that I used, so it became, the paint was too watery, so that's how the color came out, and I was like really frustrated and I wanted to give up. So I just took a 5 minutes break, just went away from my work desk, and then again came back. By the time I think the vodka had dried a little bit, so the color was a little more thicker. And then I thought, since I'm gonna put the cherry over there, let me try and try to paint that area. And once I started painting that, it really looked good, so I went about and started painting in all the crosses so that it looks a little more crunchier. And I'm kind of happy with the finish, though my husband says that the pie doesn't look well done. It needs to be a little more crusty, but I'm pretty happy with it. And to add a little accent to the cake, I just used my X-Acto knife, and I scratched before I applied the paint, so you can get those textures as if it's crisp. And I think it has come out good. And then I made this cherry with the gum paste, and then I used wire to get the stem for the cherry. And then actually I thought I would cover the board but then I was as usual worked out and stressed out and tired, and I didn't want to do that. So initially I started covering it, and over there you can see a mark, so I had to hide that. So I made this small stamp, like, but it didn't come out that well. I don't know whether you can see it. If I zoom in, it actually says season's greetings, but I think in the photography it looks much better than over here. So that's it for this cake. I hope you like it, and again, thank you all my YouTube friends for all your kind words and encouraging words. That kind of helps me, motivates me to bake another cake. And thanks again for all your tips and suggestions. It's very helpful and I really appreciate that. Thank you, and have a good day, and happy Thanksgiving to all of you. Bye, take care.